All right, so let's jump into some segments. And so we got a celebrity segment coming up here on somebody I actually really like as an actress, although I can't remember what movie she's in. Maybe you could tell me. All right, so this is Sofia Vergara, who is...
She's from Modern Family.
That's right. She was recently talking about her thoughts on sunscreen and plastic surgery.
Oh, okay.
And she had some really good things to say, actually. So she's 51 years old. She went on record about her thoughts on both sunscreen and plastic surgery in this recent interview. And she was telling the story of how when she was young, in her 20s, she kind of randomly read this magazine article that was talking about how important it is to protect your skin from the sun. We were just literally talking about this last week, right?
Yep.
Sunscreen and all that. And so... for whatever reason, this article really spoke to her. And so she says since that time, in her early 20s, when she read this article, she's been very religious about protecting herself from the sun and using sunscreen. To the point that now, because she's got pretty good money for being an actress, she started her own company.
For sunscreen?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Called Toady. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Toty. Toady. I hadn't heard of it. Apparently it's pretty new. It started in the past few years. And this is a cosmetic line dedicated to protecting you from the sun. And they have multiple products. They have sunscreen, they have makeups, they have moisturizers, but everything is got SPF in it. Mm-hmm. So everything protects you from the sun.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, you get celebrities all the time who will mention, protect yourself from the sun. But she's going the extra mile. She's starting her own company to make products to protect people from the sun. Yeah, and I think it's great. And she went on to say that, she can really tell a difference because she has a lot of friends that she's known for many years, and all her friends say, hey, your skin looks amazing, and they're now saying, well, I wish I had, listened to you all these years where you're talking about, protecting yourself from the sun.
Yeah.
And as a plastic surgeon, I agree with her 1,000% because... part of my job is aesthetics and, doing things to make people look as good as they can. And I can always tell when someone comes in and they've had a lot of sun exposure.
Yeah.
I can tell it in their skin by the way this skin looks.
There was a generation of girls that let's lay out for
generation.
No reason.
Yeah.
I did that when I was in high school, and then I never I didn't do it anymore after that.
When I was growing up, I never wore sunscreen. Never. Now, thankfully, although I had a few years where I had a lot of sun exposure due to jobs, I didn't always I didn't go lay out on purpose.
No, girls do that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time
all the time
out in the sun, I guess, but I didn't go out there on purpose to soak up sun. So I feel like I did get some sun damage for sure. That knowing what I know now, I probably would have been better about using sunblock and sunscreen. But of course, we didn't know. I mean, hell, we didn't even wear seatbelts, so obviously we're not wearing sunscreen.
Yeah.
But it is important. So when she's talking about this and creating these products to protect people from the sun, I'm all for it.
Yes.
And then after she talked about sunscreen, she went on to talk about how she's a big believer in both aesthetic treatments and plastic surgery.
Yes.
I thought she had some good things to say. She says she's a big fan of chemical peels for your skin, which I agree. She's a big fan of lasers.
Okay.
I love lasers. I do one every single year. It's the one thing in my office that I use every single year is the Cyton Halo laser because I just love it as far as tightening skin and resurfacing. She's a big believer in Botox. Which I don't use Botox personally, although I
need to get mine redone soon, I think.
Squeeze your eyebrows together. Lift up. Yeah. How long ago did we do it? It's been a few months.
It was before spring.
Yeah. So the first time you use Botox, you only get about 3 months out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're due. Come by. We'll do it.
Okay.
Anytime. I forgot that we did your Botox. But did you like it?
Yeah, everybody loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. Botox is, it's like cigarettes. I mean, the stuff sells itself.
Yeah,
I guess
because it works.
Yeah, it works good. I mean, I think Botox is one of the best low-hanging fruits to keeping yourself looking young.
And it makes it to where I carry a lot of stress in my brow muscle right here, and I used to get kind of a lot of headaches, especially when I was under stress and overly concentrating, and now I don't have that.
Everybody says that. Everyone, and we don't necessarily advertise that, but everybody says that when they have Botox, in effect. They don't have as many headaches.
Yeah, those two things. Yeah. No creases in my makeup, and I don't have like concentration headaches anymore. Enough.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, for me.
Sofia Vergara also went on to say that she does in the future plan on having plastic surgery, but just given her
She looks great. So.
she does look great. I mean, looks really, really good. She's 51 years old. She looks good for any age, but especially for somebody who's 51, she looks awesome.
But she looks like if she looks younger, but if she said like she's 51, it wouldn't be like, oh, what have you had done? It's just like, oh, you take care of yourself.
Yeah, she naturally looks good. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, she did talk about one thing that I disagree on, which I'm not going to hold against her because I think she was on point for most things. So she really is not a big fan of fillers, which I'm on the fence about them, but there's some of the stuff that she said is just not accurate, and that's why I disagreed. She said that fillers are only good when you're young, like for doing your lips, and she thinks when you get fillers when you're older, it makes you look overdone.
Yeah.
I disagree with that because, if somebody looks overdone, that's just a technical error in whoever put the fillers in. I have like a legion of women that come to my office that get fillers, and I'm very conservative with fillers. Like I think that you can absolutely get the effect to make yourself look younger without looking overdone, but you just can't overdo it.
Right.
And so I think she probably just had some bad experience with it, or maybe she had friends that had a bad experience with it, because she's off the mark there. I think you can absolutely get really good filler work, and like products like Voluma, which plumps the cheeks up a little bit. I mean, I have plenty of women that have gotten that, and they don't look overdone. They just look a little bit better. Juvederm for like the nasolabial folds or the marionette lines is good. Sculptor is the new one. Well, it's not even new. It's been around forever, but it's kind of made a resurgence. And I think we're going to start carrying it in our office. Historically, we haven't.
Yeah.
So there are some good fillers that can really take the years off for people in her age bracket, like 40s to 50s. And not looking overdone is just a simple it's just simply technique.
Yeah.
Of the person injecting, which is why you want to make sure that you go to somebody that's skilled. So
I agree.
You haven't never done fillers, have you?
No.
Yeah. You have great lips, so I mean, you could define them a little bit more, but like there are people out there who like really could benefit a lot from like lip filler, and you're too young for the other stuff at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to Botox for a while.
Yeah. I think because you're what 33?
I'll be 35 this year.
35
in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a little early for fillers outside of like if you want to do your lips,
Just
which you definitely don't need. But 10 years from now, that might be a different story. I mean, people in their 40s is when fillers start to have some benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not saying you need fillers.
Well, I don't.
I'm just saying in general, as far as
not yet, anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought Sofia Vergara was really on point with pretty much everything she said, though, and that's refreshing. I mean, she says some really, really intelligent, accurate things, which you don't always see that in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I kind of do respect for her, although I respect her anyway. But she's kind of on point. So check out her toady line. I bet that's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Not you, just like people in general. So.